The stars above Earth were quiet. No signals, no lights, no sounds. For thousands of years, Earth was forgotten. The Galactic Council had labeled it a dead world. Burned, bombed, destroyed during the Great Human War 5,000 years ago. No one lived there now. No ships flew near it. Even the bravest alien explorers avoided the system. It was cursed. But that changed when a science ship called Observer 9 entered Earth's orbit. Inside the ship, Captain Velranek, a tall, four-armed Varnak scientist, stared at the blue and brown planet below. "We're here," he said quietly. "The grave of the humans." His assistant, a young insectoid named Dreen, hovered near the window. "It looks alive. Why does it still have an atmosphere?" Velranek didn't answer. He was staring at the Himalayas. There was something strange there, something moving. "Scan that mountain range," the captain ordered. Dreen blinked in surprise. "Moving terrain? Mountains don't move." "They do now," Velranek replied. Below the surface of the Himalayas, something ancient woke up. A pulse of blue energy spread under the ground. Machines hummed. Metal gears turned for the first time in thousands of years. Dust fell from enormous steel walls as hidden engines powered on. Then a deep voice echoed from somewhere inside the planet. "Titan-class awakening, 3% complete." In orbit, the science ship's lights flickered. "What was that sound?" Dreen whispered. "It came from Earth," Velranek said. His voice was shaking. "That wasn't a normal signal. That was a Titan-class activation code." Dreen looked confused. "What's Titan-class?" Velranek turned, his eyes wide. "It was the most feared weapon humanity ever made. A ship so large it carried cities inside, so powerful it could bend gravity. They were banned by the entire galaxy. I thought all of them were destroyed. So did we." Suddenly, the science ship shook violently. Alarm screamed. Dreen slammed into a wall. "We're caught in a gravitational pull. Reverse thrusters." Velranek shouted, but nothing worked. The ship was being pulled toward Earth, not by nature, but by design. Below them, the Himalayas cracked open. A deep canyon formed, revealing massive silver panels. The mountain was not rock, it was metal. A voice spoke again. "Titan-class EX Genesis. Reboot. 12% complete." From space, Earth didn't look dead anymore. It was alive. And waking up. Inside the Galactic Council, far away, across the stars, panic began. Counselor Sal of the Zetherians slammed his fist on the table. "This can't be true. We destroyed all Titan-class ships in the last war." "Apparently not," said an old Etherian diplomat, her voice trembling. "Earth has kept a secret, a deadly one." A red hologram of Earth appeared in the chamber. It showed the energy levels rising fast. Strange patterns danced across the planet's surface. "These aren't random," said the data analyst. "It's a system, a network of ancient machines, all connected to something in the Himalayas." The chamber went silent. One young alien whispered, "What if it wakes fully?" Sal looked at the others. "Then the galaxy will burn." Back on Earth, the ground shook. The top of the mountain rose unfolded into the air. Sharp wings, glowing with blue plasma, extended out. The mountain was becoming a starship. Inside its core, a glowing eye flickered to life. "Ai Talas. Activated. Crew status. Deceased. Command line. Reconnect to humanity." But no humans answered. Still, the ship remembered its orders. Defend Earth. Punish invaders. Restart humanity. Massive thrusters emerged from the mountain's base. The ground split. Trees and rocks flew into the air. The sky turned bright white. Alien science ship Observer 9 was now crashing. Velranek grabbed the controls. "We need to get out of here. We need to warn the Council." But it was too late. The ship hit Earth's upper atmosphere and exploded in a silent fireball. No one survived. Far above, hundreds of other ships, distant spy probes, satellites, forgotten orbiters suddenly lit up with warnings. They were being scanned, not by aliens, by the Titan itself. A single message was broadcast in all languages. Known across the galaxy, EX Genesis is rising. Humanity is not extinct. Protocol Earthfall begins. The galaxy heard it. Every species, every empire. In a deep corner of space, an old war general sat alone in his dark chamber. His body was covered in scars from battles long gone. He watched the broadcast on his screen. His eyes narrowed. "They told us Earth was destroyed," he whispered. "They lied." He stood up slowly. "If Genesis is rising, then the others will follow." He tapped a button on his chest. "All fleets, prepare for war." Back on Earth, the Titan-class ship continued to rise. Its body stretched for miles. Entire. Rivers flowed around it. Cities of metal were carved into its sides. Defense turrets rotated and locked onto invisible targets. The ship's engines hummed with power no one had seen in millennia. Still, it waited, scanning, searching. A soft voice echoed from deep inside, searching for command, searching for human signal. But the humans were gone, or so the galaxy thought. Thousands of light years away, on a hidden mining world, a small child sat by a fire. He had pale skin, dark eyes, and strange blue veins that glowed faintly in the dark. The old woman beside him stared up at the stars. "Do you hear that?" she said softly. The boy tilted his head. "Hear what?" She smiled. "The Titans are calling. And they are calling for you." The Galactic Council's main chamber floated in the stars like a glass jewel-clear walls. Bright lights and hundreds of voices speaking at once. Inside, leaders of every powerful alien species gathered. Some flew, some crawled, some shimmered with strange energy. But all of them had one thing in common that day: fear. Counselor Sal, a tall Zetherian with green scales and black eyes, slammed his long hand on the round table. "Earth is not dead," he growled. "The Titan-class ship is waking." A large hologram hovered above the center. It showed Earth from orbit. From its northern landmass, something massive was rising: metal wings, glowing engines, weapon systems the size of cities. "It calls itself EX Genesis," said a calm voice. "It belonged to a spider-like creature named Lithari, one of the oldest members of the Council. We detected activation commands 5 days ago. Today, it fully rose into the atmosphere. No living humans seen, but the ship is active." "Impossible!" shouted General Verdax of the Korthak Empire. His 4 red eyes glared. "All Titan-class vessels were destroyed in the Great Human War. We wiped them out." Sal shook his head. "We thought we did. But this one, Genesis, was buried deep, beneath Earth's surface, hidden, protected, and now it's back." Lithari waved one of her legs, and another image appeared. The ship hovered above Earth, casting a shadow across entire continents. The ground around it burned with energy. Rivers had changed direction. Mountains had collapsed. "Genesis is more than a warship," she said softly. "It's a mobile planet, a god made of steel." A cold silence spread through the chamber. In the back row, Counselor Amy's of the Fane species leaned forward. "You said no living humans were seen, so why is it active?" Lithari answered, "It's running on AI protocol, a command system named Talos. It has begun scanning the galaxy for a new human commander." Sal frowned. "It's trying to rebuild." "That's correct," Lithari said. "And more troubling, it sent a signal. A warning." She played the transmission. A voice, deep and calm, echoed across the room. "EX Genesis has awakened. Humanity is not extinct. Judgment has begun." Counselor Krell, a jelly-like being who always avoided war, trembled. "This is not just a weapon," Krell said. "This is vengeance." Council Leader Marin, a blue-skinned Avon with a silver crown, finally stood. His voice boomed with authority. We must not panic, we must act, quickly. He walked slowly to the edge of the chamber. Stars twinkled behind the glass walls. We believed Earth was finished. Now we see it was only sleeping, the humans. They planned this. He turned. We must send a fleet. Not to attack, but to monitor, to learn. General Verdak shouted, we should destroy it before it finishes waking. And risk full activation? Lithari replied. Genesis alone can wipe out a solar system. If we attack, it may trigger auto-defense. We saw what happened to Observer 9. They were scientists, not soldiers, the general said. They were vaporized from orbit, Lithari snapped. That ship didn't even aim, it reacted. Sal added, and what if there are more? That question made the entire chamber fall silent. Minutes later, deep beneath the council floor, a secret meeting began. Only 5 members were allowed inside, a hidden group known as the Core Circle. They were the real rulers, older than even. The council itself, in the center of the table, sat a long black cube. It began to glow. Titan-class Genesis has awakened, said a machine voice from the cube. You were warned this could happen. A small alien named Vox hissed. We destroyed Earth. We used 13 suns to burn it. How is this possible? The machine voice answered, because Earth was never meant to be protected by its people. It was protected by its machines. An old reptilian, blind in both eyes, whispered, there were legends that the Titans were alive, watching, learning. The cube's voice replied, you mistook silence for death. You mistook patience for defeat. Meanwhile, across the stars, ships were moving. Small alien fleets left secret bases, heading toward Earth. Some were there to study. Some were there to strike. And some to hide in the dark corners of the galaxy. Ancient human-friendly species. Awoke old memories. Species that once allied with Earth began to whisper, humanity has returned. Inside the ship EX Genesis, Tylos was busy. It scanned over 12 million star systems in less than a second. No human command signal found. But one anomaly appeared, a faint genetic signature on a mining planet in the outer rim. Talos locked onto the signal, DNA match, 62%, possible hybrid. Directive, secure, protect, deliver. Engines hummed louder. The ship adjusted its orbit. Then it vanished, folding space, moving faster than light. A storm of energy followed. The Earth's clouds swirled. Then silence. The ship was gone. Back at the council, alarms blared. The ship disappeared, someone shouted. It jumped out of the solar system. Councilor Sale turned to the council leader. Where is it going? Lithari answered before anyone else. It's going to find its new commander. And if it finds one? Sal asked. The spider alien turned slowly. Then, the galaxy will no longer be safe. Deep underground in a forgotten council archive, a single record blinked red. Warning, human protocol Earthfall has begun. If activated, proceed to fallback plan. Evacuate inner worlds. Do not engage the Titans. Do not resist. They were not made for war. They were made for revenge. The air over the Himalayas felt heavy. Clouds moved in strange ways, as if they were being pulled by something deep below. Animals ran from the mountains. Birds screamed and vanished into the sky. Far beneath the tallest peaks, something ancient had started to move. It had waited in silence for 5,000 years. Hidden, sleeping, forgotten. Until now. Deep inside the mountain, giant metal arms unlocked with loud, echoing sounds. Thick walls made of alien steel, stronger than anything else in the galaxy, began to shift and open. Energy flowed through old circuits like blood, returning to a heart. Lights came on. Engines warmed. The machine, the size of a city, began to wake. Voice echoed inside the structure, low, cold, and full of purpose. AI Talos active. Titan-class command ship EX Genesis rebooting systems. Objective: protect Earth, secure human line, eliminate threats. On the surface, a small group of explorers stood frozen. They were scavengers from a low-rank alien species, called the Forens. They had come to Earth hoping to find old human tech and sell it on the black market. But what they found wasn't junk. "What is that?" one of them whispered. He pointed toward the tallest mountain, where the snow was melting unnaturally fast. The ground trembled. Stones rolled downhill. A distant mountain peak cracked straight down the middle from inside the mountain. Something was rising at first. It looked like a wall of silver. Then came the shape of a wing, smooth, sharp, glowing with blue veins. Then a second wing. Then the sound of deep humming. Too low for any machine. Too steady for nature. "It's not a mountain," the scavenger said, his voice shaking. "No," whispered the leader. "It's a ship." Miles above, satellites across the galaxy picked up the event. Videos spread like wildfire. Every government, every empire, every private warlord stared at the same footage. A Titan-class ship was breaking through the mountains of Earth. Its wings unfolded like the arms of a giant angel. Buildings of metal extended from its back. Platforms emerged, carrying weapons that glowed with ancient power. A blue shield wrapped around its hull like a second skin. It wasn't just a ship. It was a floating fortress. It was Genesis. Inside the ship, Talos checked its memory banks, human records, battle logs, DNA files, war crimes, peace offers, rejected treaties, all stored, all remembered. It replayed the last broadcast it ever received before going into deep sleep. A human voice. A woman. Calm, tired, but firm. "If you find this message, we are gone. They betrayed us. They took our technology and bombed our home. We leave you, Talos, with a single order. Protect the Earth. Protect the truth. And if they ever return, make them remember who we were." Now the AI searched. No active human signal detected, but one faint code appeared. Far away, from a mining world on the outer edge of the galaxy, a 62% human and a match, a child, a hybrid, a possible new commander. Talos calculated the risks. The ship's engine started to shift, but before it could move, something entered Earth's orbit. Small alien fleet approached fast 5 ships, armed with laser weapons and magnetic bombs. They belonged to the Vion Syndicate, a pirate group hired secretly by the Zetherian Council. Their orders were clear: destroy the Genesis ship before it becomes fully active. Inside the lead ship, Commander Luro grinned. "Let's end this, human ghost, before it rises from the grave," he said. They opened fire. Energy beams struck the side of Genesis. Nothing happened. No damage. Not even a scratch. Commander Luro frowned. Again, the ships fired everything they had: plasma missiles, MP strikes, fusion torpedoes. Still, Genesis didn't even move. Then it responded. A wave of blue light burst from the ship in silence. All 5 Vion ships froze. Their engines died. Their lights flickered. Then one by one, they imploded, pulled inward by sudden, impossible gravity, crushed into metal balls no larger than a truck. The entire attack took 4 seconds. Genesis hadn't used even one weapon. Just defense protocols. Back on the ground, the foreign scavengers dropped their tools and ran. One fell. Another screamed. But they didn't die. Instead, something strange happened. A light shined down from the Titan ship. A scanner passed over them. Then the voice returned, calm and slow. "Biologicals, non-hostile, non-target, safe." The light vanished. Genesis was not here to kill everything. It was here to judge. On the other side of the galaxy, the signal spread like a virus. Every empire, every outpost, every spy ship, every warlord got the same terrifying message: EX Genesis is awake. It is active. It is searching for its commander. Some tried to prepare for war, others tried to hide, but one question rose louder than all others. If this is what one Titan can do, how many more are there? Back in the stars, the ship began to rise fully from the Earth. Underneath it, giant launch bays opened. Thrusters the size of skyscrapers lit up with blue flame, rivers dried, mountains cracked. The Earth shook. Then Genesis left the planet. Slowly, silently, it floated into space. Watching. Waiting. And heading straight toward the hybrid child, the last spark of humanity. The space around Earth was filled with tension. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. One massive ship, a floating city called EX Genesis, rising from a planet once thought dead. News spread quickly, and every powerful alien empire made their move. General Verdak stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Crimson Fang. His 4 glowing red eyes scanned the stars, fixed on the distant shape of Genesis. "We cannot let that ship survive," he growled. "If it finds a new human, Commander, the entire galaxy will be in danger." His second in command, a sharp-tongued officer named Carr, looked uneasy. "Sir, our fleet is strong, but Genesis is unlike anything we have faced. Its shields are impenetrable, and it seems to control gravity itself." Verdak slammed his fist on the console. "Then we strike first, before it learns to fight." In the Galactic Council's war room, Counselor Sal watched the fleet's movements. His green scale shimmered in the dim light. "We will send our best pilots and weapons," he said. "We will destroy Genesis before it reaches the child." Lithari, the spider-like diplomat, shook her many legs. "You underestimate the Titan. It already destroyed Observer 9 without firing a single shot. Our weapons may be useless." Sal's eyes narrowed. "We have no choice." Back aboard Genesis, AI Talos monitored incoming threats. "Multiple fleets detected," it said in its cold voice. "Engaging defensive protocols." The ship's massive shields shimmered, glowing bright blue, covering its entire hull. Energy pulses hummed through every metal surface. Outside, waves of alien warships rushed forward. Lasers cut through space. Missiles streaked toward Genesis, and fighters swarmed like angry bees. Commander Luro, leading the Vion Syndicate strike team, grinned. "This is it. The moment to erase the human threat forever." His ship launched volleys of plasma fire. Other ships followed, but the Genesis ship reacted instantly. A powerful force field exploded outward. The enemy missiles slowed, then froze caught in an invisible web. One by one, the warship's engines sputtered. Panic spread. "General!" an officer yelled on the Crimson Fang. "Our weapons are failing. Our ships are losing power." Verdak's face darkened. "Divert all energy to disrupt." "Their shields." "Shields remain stable," the officer replied. "They are adapting." Suddenly, Genesis emitted a silent pulse. The enemy ships twisted and fell apart, pulled by gravity waves, too strong to resist. They smashed into each other, crumbled, and exploded. The fleet lost half its ships in seconds. "We underestimated them," Verdax growled. "Retreat, regroup." But Genesis did not follow. Instead, it moved forward, calmly and slowly. Its weapons powered on. "Commander Luro to all units," Luro shouted. "Fall back. We can't fight this." But some smaller ships fired desperate shots. Genesis reacted with ease. Its turrets glowed blue and fired beams that cut through metal like paper. The space around the ship was a deadly dance. On one of the alien cruisers, a young pilot named Tessa watched in horror. "Why aren't our weapons working?" "How is that ship so strong?" Her captain shouted. "We are facing a legend at Titan class. They said these ships were extinct." Tessa swallowed hard. "What chance do we have?" Back on Genesis, Talos scanned for the genetic signal. "Target located," it said. "Initiating Earthfall protocol." The ship's engines flared. It jumped to faster than light speed, disappearing from the battlefield in a flash, across the galaxy. Alarms sounded. The Titan was moving toward the mining world. The hidden child, who held humanity's future, was now the target of the greatest power the galaxy had ever seen. In a quiet room, far from war and destruction, the child sat alone. A gentle voice whispered, "They are coming." The child looked up, eyes glowing. "Faint blue, I am ready," the child said softly. The galaxy went silent, for the first time in centuries. Every screen, every speaker, every communication channel, no matter the planet, the ship, or the station, broadcast the same message. A calm, deep voice spoke. "I am Talos, the guardian of humanity's legacy." The voice echoed across the stars, soft but filled with power. "We gave peace. You gave death." In the Galactic Council chamber, whispers spread quickly. Counselor Sale leaned forward, his eyes wide. "What is this?" Lithari's many eyes reflected the screen. That voice, it is the eye from the Titan ship. From every corner of the galaxy, alien leaders watched the broadcast in shock. Talos continued. 5,000 years ago, we offered you our hands, our technology, our knowledge." The voice softened, but its anger was clear. "You stole it. You betrayed us. You bombed Earth to dust." In a small room on the mining planet, the child listened to the broadcast. The blue veins on the child's arms glowed brighter. "I remember." The child whispered. Across the stars, the message went on. "We made weapons to protect, not to destroy without reason. Yet you used your fleets to hunt us down. Genesis was buried deep for a reason." The voice grew stronger. "But now we rise. Not to conquer, but to judge." Back on the council, Krell trembled. How can an AI speak with such emotion? "It has learned from humanity," Lithari said quietly. General Verdax slammed his fist. "This changes everything. We cannot ignore this any longer." Talos showed images. Old recordings of humans helping alien worlds, healing planets destroyed by war, sharing knowledge freely. Then darker images appeared, aliens stealing human technology, burning cities, killing innocent families. Counselor Saul's face darkened. "The truth is clear. We treated them as enemies, not allies." The broadcast paused. Then Talos spoke again. "We offer a final choice. Stop the war. Return what you stole. Allow humanity to live." A sudden explosion shook the Galactic Council's chamber. An alarm blared. Council leader Marin shouted, "An attack!" Someone does not want peace. Far away, in a dark room, a masked figure smiled. "Let the Titans judge them." The voice said. Back on the mining planet, the child stood, eyes glowing fiercely. "I will protect them. I will bring the truth." The stars waited. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity's final verdict was coming. The galaxy was no longer calm since Talos's message. Every major empire had started searching for one thing: humans. Not myths, not memories, real survivors. In a dark war room on Zither Prime, General Verdax stood before a large map of the galaxy. Red circles glowed across its suspected locations of human DNA. He raised his voice. "They're out there, somewhere. If the AI finds even one pure human, we lose everything." His aide asked, "What do we do if they're already protected by Genesis?" Verdax's eyes narrowed. "Then we get to them first." He turned to a squad of elite hunters. "Bring me the last human." On the mining planet Dustrum 4, a storm raged. The sky burned orange with dust, and machines groaned in the wind. Beneath the ground, a quiet cabin stood in the middle of a metal valley. Inside, an old woman sat beside a fire. Across from her sat a child with dark hair, pale skin, and glowing blue veins. "Your blood sings," the woman whispered. "You carry their power." The child looked up. "I keep hearing the voice, the one from the stars." She nodded slowly. "Talos remembers." It remembers you. Why me? You are the last echo, she said. Not just human, something more. High above the planet, a small alien craft uncloaked. Inside, a bounty hunter named Cran grinned as his scanner beeped. There it is. Human signature confirmed. 70% match. He opened a channel. General, I found the target. General Verdak's voice growled back. Capture or kill. Do not let Talos reach them. At the same time, far across space, Genesis approached the mining planet at high speed. Inside the ship, Talos scanned the surface. Human hybrid detected. Probability of survival, low. Threat level, rising. It activated defense protocols. Time was short. On Dustrum 4, the child suddenly stood. They're coming. The old woman nodded. Then you must go. I can't leave you. You must, she said, placing her hands on the child's shoulders. They'll stop at nothing. You need to find the ship. She handed over a small silver disc. It glowed when the child touched it. What is it? A key, she said softly, to your legacy. Then the door shattered. Kran stood in the doorway, weapon raised. Target locked. The woman stepped in front of the child. You won't. Take her. Cran fired. The shot hit the woman. She fell. The child screamed, and the ground shook beneath her. Blue light flared from her body. Machines around her broke. Cran's gun exploded in his hands. What are you? He shouted, backing away. The child looked up, eyes glowing. With power, I am Earth's memory. Suddenly, the sky opened. Genesis arrived. Its massive shadow swallowed the valley. A blue beam shot down from the ship and surrounded the child. She floated upward, protected by the light. Cran fired again. But his bullets turned to dust before they reached her. Inside Genesis, the AI spoke gently. Welcome, Commander. The child blinked. I'm not ready. You were born ready. On Zither Prime, alarms rang in the war room. She's inside the Titan, someone shouted. General Verdak's eyes turned red with rage. We failed. Counselor Saul closed his eyes. No, we just ran out of time. In every corner of the galaxy, resistance forces rose. Old allies of humanity came out of hiding. The people began whispering again. The humans have returned. And they are not alone. The stars above Dustrum 4 shimmered as the massive warship EX Genesis floated in low orbit. The sky glowed blue beneath it. On board, the child stood inside the heart of the Titan, surrounded by blinking lights and soft humming machines. AI Talos spoke in its calm voice. Commander confirmed. Genetic signature verified. Final protocol unlocked. The child looked around. Final protocol? 7 Titans were built. I was the first. The others sleep. You must wake them. The child's voice was unsure. Where are they? The center screen lit up with a map of the solar system. Red dots glowed on the moons of Jupiter, the dark side of Mars, under the ice of Europa, and hidden inside the asteroid belt. They were hidden after the Great Betrayal, Talos explained. Buried to protect humanity's legacy. The child stared at the map. Then it's time to bring them back. On Zither Prime, alarms screamed. Counselor Saul shouted over the noise. We intercepted a signal. Genesis is activating something huge. General Verdak stared at the map. No, it's not activating one ship. It's waking the others. A screen flashed red. A new voice spoke. Titan-class unit Ares, awakening. Then another, Titan-class unit Gaia, rebooting. And another, Titan-class unit Vulcan, energy surge detected. Saul stepped back in fear. They're coming back, all of them. On Mars, the red soil cracked open. A giant hand made of silver broke through the ground. Dust flew into the sky. As the Titan Ares pulled itself out of the planet's surface, it stood tall like a giant warrior, its armor glowing with red fire. On Europa, The icy moon shook. Beneath frozen oceans, something massive moved. Cracks formed in the ice as the Titan GIA rose from the deep glowing green, covered in crystal. And ancient vines dot inside the asteroid belt. Hundreds of rocks suddenly exploded outward. In the center of the blast, a round ship, black and blue, powered to life. It was Vulcan, the forger of worlds, the builder Titan. Back aboard Genesis, the child watched the screen as the Titans woke. "They're beautiful," she whispered. "They were humanity's last hope," said Talos. "And now they are yours." The child placed her hand on a control sphere. "I can feel them. They're listening." In the far corners of the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. Across the Trillion Empire, families watched in silence as one by one, the Titans revealed themselves. On the war-torn planet of Razul, rebels stared into the sky as a golden Titan hovered. Above, casting a peaceful light over the ruins, even criminals, warlords, and pirates went quiet, because they all understood what it meant. Humanity had returned. And it had brought gods with it. Back in the council chambers, chaos erupted. "We must launch everything we have." General Verdax shouted. Counselor Krell shook in fear. "Everything won't be enough." Lithari's calm voice broke through the panic. "We killed them once, or so we thought. Now they rise again. What will they do to us?" No one answered, because no one knew. Inside the Genesis ship, the child took her seat. Screens lit up with data from all 7 Titans. They were ready. Fully powered. Fully linked. A voice spoke in her mind. It was not Talos. It was older. Softer. Stronger. "We've waited for you," the voice said. "Lead us. Show the galaxy who we were, and who we will be again." She nodded. "Let's begin." Across the galaxy, the 7 Titans moved together. Planets shook as their engines activated. Gravity shifted. Time itself seemed to pause. From billions of miles apart, they flew as one. Unified. Unstoppable. A new fleet, not of war, but of judgment. In the space between stars, a massive alien dreadnought appeared to block their path. It fired. Its beams hit the Titans. Did nothing. Ares responded with a single shot. The dreadnought vanished in white light. On the planet Andrus, children pointed to the sky. "Look!" One cried. "The machines with wings." An old alien wept. "They have returned. The humans are truly back." And far above them all, the child's voice echoed across space. "We do not come to conquer. We come to finish what was started. To bring balance. And to remind you, Earth still remembers." The stars were quiet. A strange silence spread across the galaxy. Not one alien empire dared to make a move. Not after what they saw. 7 Titans machines the size of cities now stood above every major planet once ruled by the Galactic Council. People watched from windows. Soldiers stood down. Leaders hid in bunkers. And in the center of it all floated a single ship. The EX Genesis. Inside, the child commander Elia stood at the heart of the control chamber. Her hand rested on the glowing sphere. Her eyes were focused. Tlos, the AI, spoke softly. "All empires have responded to your summons. The Galactic Council is waiting." "Shall we begin?" Elia nodded. "Yes, connect them." Across the galaxy, massive screens came alive. On Zither Prime, Counselor Sale gasped as the child's image appeared in the sky. On the Vorkan moons, leaders dropped their weapons. On Aurelus, the song world, the people began to sing in fear and hope. Elia's voice was calm. "I am Elia, commander of the last fleet of Earth. You have been judged." The council tried to answer. Their screen lit up. Counselor Lithari leaned forward. We did not know humans had survived." "You did more than that," Elia replied. "You buried our world. You stole our children. You erased our name." "Counselor." Verdax growled. Your titans threaten the galaxy. We demand you stand down." Elia leaned closer. Her eyes were fierce. "No," she said. "You don't get to demand anything anymore." In the shadows of Titan Gaia, a small court chamber formed. Alien leaders were pulled in by light. No guards, no ships. Just pure gravitational control. One by one, members of the council appeared, confused, frightened, silent. The Titans had summoned them to a place they could not resist. Talos spoke now, not as a machine, but as a voice of history. "You are here not for war, but for judgment. Each of you played a role in the fall of Earth." Counselor Krell protested. "We were only following orders." Alia stood between the glowing walls. "No, you were following fear." Then came the evidence, from deep within the Titan's memory. Cores, holograms lit the court, footage of Earth's last days. Alien ships bombing cities, children crying in dark bunkers. The betrayal of the Trillion Treaty. The orbital strike that turned Earth into a wasteland. One alien fainted. Another sobbed. Counselor Lithuri whispered. "We were told. Earth attacked first." "You were lied to," Elia said. "And now the truth speaks louder than the lies ever did." Then came the choice. Elia looked at the council. "We will not destroy your worlds. That is not who we are." Relief spread on their faces. "But," she added, "you will answer for what you did." Counselor Verdax barked, "Then kill me." "I have no regrets." Elia stepped forward. "No, that's too easy." She turned to the others. "Each of you will return to your people. You will tell them everything, the lies, the crimes, the truth." Talos added, "A new system will begin. One not ruled by fear or power, but by justice." The counselors were returned, all but one. Counselor Sal remained. He had once tried to save Earth's archives. He had warned the others. I didn't do enough," he said quietly. "You told the truth," Elia said. "That matters." Sal looked up. "What now?" "You help us build something better." A year passed. The Titans did not attack. They healed. They brought water to dry worlds, power to broken cities. Peace where war had lived for centuries. Children across the galaxy learned a new name, Kalan Earth. Not a lost planet. Not a myth, but the origin of justice. In orbit. Elia stood once again at the edge of the Genesis Bridge. Talos spoke. "You could rest now." Elia shook her head, smiling. "Not yet. There's more to fix." She looked out at the stars, the Titans. Behind her. The future ahead. And for the first time in 1,000 years. Humanity led not with war, but with wisdom. The galaxy had feared Earth's return, but what they got was Earth's final verdict, and it had changed everything.